All right, and welcome back, everybody. We are here at Grand Finals for Team Trinity. Got their work cut out for Alvin College. I'm Mr. Leapfrog, along with me.
Bowser, I'm here ready to see the Grand Finals.
Yeah, Grand Finals.
I'm excited.
There's a lot of on the line here for these guys. The tournament life is here. Best of 5 situation, first to 3. So it's all on the fact of, can they close out the series? Can they lock it in? I know it get kind of late for them, but I know they're ambitious and hungry for the win.
Mm-hmm. I've both seen, fought, and lost against both of these teams, so I know they're both really strong teams. Both with their own really weird and unique comps that I haven't really seen before up until now, especially with Trinity with their triple is not something I've seen very often in competitive.
Yeah, it's weird because one of those things I saw, I got to commentate one of the first few matches of the day when Alvin College was playing in very similar style where they're running the triple Vanguard, triple Specialist, and is finding a ton of success with this. So to see that Trinity is kind of adapting that strategy as well, definitely could tell they're doing their homework. They're watching the matches live as it's happening on stages and stuff like that. And that's going to be important for the coaches to kind of take note of that and how to circumvent that, how to actually deal with that going forward. So we're getting the last few bands figured out right now. And then once we figured it out, we can be able to start up the series with map number 1. What do we got for map number 1?
We got Hell's Heaven Domination. If I'm correct, I'm pretty sure that's basically point capture.
Yeah. So again, it's going to be, I think these bans are going to be imperative because, some of the players, are kind of flexible with their comps, but at the same time, if you can kind of if you're not wanting to deal with certain characters and specific comp positions altogether by removing some of those strengths, could make things a little bit easier. Obviously, certain characters like Gambit, I know have been the talk of the town, the main bans that have been annoying for a lot of these teams.
Yeah, even so, with Gambit being banned, both of these teams have really strong supports, very flexible on every single character. My team earlier in the day actually banned some of their mains. They were able to flex onto a different support perfectly and still pump out massive heals into their team.
Okay, well, looks like the bans are set in stone. And again, I was already talking about how Gambit was one of those characters that we focused the bans on. Banned on both sides of the coin, as well as, potentially an invisible woman for both characters, or for both teams. So hopefully they can still make it work without those in particular.
I'm sure Alvin was probably watching the previous game. They immediately went and banned 2 of the supports that Trinity were using the entire last game. Mantis being the primary one that I saw being the most useful, being banned immediately and now being forced into a completely different position.
All right, but here we go. Grand final time here for Legends Fest. Let's see if Trinity can uproot the number 1 seeded Alvin College Finns. Hope you guys are ready. Make some noise.
Look who just showed
And
up.
already starting off aggressive onto that high ground, just trying to make some space, trying to make some pressure, and it's not going to find anybody met with them yet. They're just maybe trying to wait for the point to unlock before they make any type of commitment.
Yeah, I see both teams here have Wolverine, a really good tank killer. I'm really excited to see them go at it. Probably going to end up fighting each other more often than not, but we got Fang here, a very valuable character that can stop most guys, and helping Wolverine here by being able to throw him into enemy backlines, giving him extra leap of his cooldown.
Oh my goodness, yeah, you can see he already built up to 100 charge, getting frozen for the time being, but still at that maximum charge. But just when I say that, Bird trying to dispose of their own Wolverine, trying to get rid of him out of the backline, all the while Alvin College did get that point to flip at the start, so they get an early percentage lead with 11%, but, quickly swap back into their favor for Trinity.
Much better.
Yeah, I was expecting Moon Knight to get ult charge so quickly, but not the thing on Trinity over here, closing in on his ult just as fast as Moon Knight and Lunar Snow on the enemy team.
Okay, Loki locked and loaded as well for Brooks. Again, something you have to pay attention to at all times. Those clones can really be something tricky. Moon Knight being used onto the backline, and you can see Dark Crazy trying to survive as long as they can, immediately diving out, and again, back onto the payload, back onto the objective, contesting galore.
Ooh, canceled Moon Knight by a Luna Snow.
Okay, and the duplicate coming out as well, so making some space, just making it really difficult for them to stay on the point safely without taking a boatload of damage. Mythic swapping over to the Doctor Strange as well, but it doesn't matter. There's so much defense you have to deal with. And, I mean, how can you get the point secured with all these tanks still alive? Oh my goodness, and Bird going straight to the backline as well. Again, another Cloak and Dagger ultimate on the objective, and it looks like Alvin finally going to switch back it over to the point. I mean, a really late ultimate from Lactate, trying to find success with the Rocket Raccoon. They do kind of get a pick. Maybe they can find a way to flip it back into their favor at the last second, but again, with the res coming in, Bird maybe not out of the fight for too long. Control C's now in favor of Trinity. And I'm hoping we can see some ultimates again. We have the Moon Knight ult charged up and ready, but can it be, circumvented? We have Lot Bunny with the Magneto ult to kind of, mitigate a lot of that damage output.
Yeah, you'd expect with Emma Frost, the Wolverine wouldn't be able to get as much dive potential, but he's been doing really well for the Trinity team over here, putting major pressure on these tanks and jumping in every time he sees the Diamond Core come out of Emma Frost.
Yeah, and he lost his ultimate too. Brooks tried to do the duplicate, but it wasn't working. I mean, Holy Mexican immediately swapping over to the Punisher, getting the damage. Lot Bunny putting the Magneto ult on play, not going to be able to find any success, but Brox does come back in the nick of time and get 2 picks themselves. And this is 99%, so if they win this fight, this point will be over in their favor. Alvin trying to keep things alive. They're doing a dance party, but nobody's dancing. No music playing. I'm not seeing enough movement out there. Doctor Strange teleporting back onto the point in time, trying to find an opening and not finding any success.
I'm expecting the Wolverine to post it also. There it is, right onto the sport, killing it immediately.
Oh my goodness.
Demolishing Alvin as they try to retake point with Cloak and Dagger ult, taking over the entirety of the point with healing and damage at the same time.
And I'm kind of concerned, we use those ultimates. I mean, you survive for a little bit longer, but do you think this is winnable? I mean, they certainly think so.
I'm not sure if that was even worth the Cloak and Dagger ult. It might have been useful to save it for next point even.
Yeah, because again, very unique to Marvel Rivals. You do maintain some of this, these ultimate charges between rounds, and it's not carried over to the following subsequent round. But again, the thing Dark Crazy just been annoying this entire time, surviving nonstop, and it's finally going to flip over in favor of Trinity, securing that first point. Alvin College really fighting their hearts out there, but to no avail. Now we go over to the Frozen Airfield. Hopefully Alvin College can kind of turn things around. And again, that's where you're concerned about using those ultimates at the end there, because now you don't have any ultimates coming into this next point.
Yeah, they ended up using the ult right there at the in overtime, not being able to really succeed. And not only does that end off them at lower percentage of ult, it helps the enemy team get a higher ult charge going into this next fight. Most of their team being in the 50% range or higher already, low-key as you can see here, ready to ult as soon as they go back into the fight.
Yeah, he's salivating now, and with the amount of characters at his disposal, he can really kind of dictate the pacing, see what they have first before they make a decision. And you see, I mean, a big change come out from Alvin College. No more Wolverine going to the way of the Iron Fist instead, and we're finally going to see some Deadpool coming out from Koi as well. So drastic changes for the teams. Let's see if they can make it work. Let's see if they can find some success here on point number 2.
Yeah, very specifically, we can see that this Deadpool is actually a support pool. They're going triple support into this next fight, probably hoping to keep everybody alive and on point for as long as possible.
Yeah, you want to talk about flexibles. I mean, Deadpool being able to play all 3 roles is really, a testament to his skill, but it doesn't matter. Dark Crazy, again, one of those characters we were watching a whole lot on that first point, and already starting off again with another big pick. And, Lot Bunny also helping out with, an additional Vanguard on point and just, again, making so much space for their team. And, again, that's the benefit of running that Rocket Raccoon. You fall super early on that fight, you already have that, res mechanic still locked and loaded. We can see here Holy Mexican immediately switching off the dive, noticing that it isn't really working against this enemy team. They have so much survivability with their supports in their thing, canceling all of his movement abilities. Yeah, every single time makes the approach is immediately getting, ripped up by the thing. So you gotta be really careful how you make your approach. Deadpool, popping ultimate, making the approach. Oh, and they get, the thing very, very low, but Brooks duplicating the Rocket Raccoon and showing them what the real firepower is meant to be. Big damage, but no eliminations quite yet. But just when I say that, Lombax finally getting their own elim with the thing as well, finding some opportunity and an opening for their team. And I think the Deadpool swap is definitely one of those contributions.
It looks like they're able to do just a little bit better here. Thing pushing really far forward into the enemy backline, cleaning up the Lokis. You never want to leave them lying around because coming into the next fight, a Loki being behind you and not noticing can do a lot of damage to the enemy backline.
Right back to it, but again, Trinity aren't too dissatisfied. They already got 52% on the board for them, and they have 4 ultimates at their disposal. So I can imagine an early Rocket Raccoon ult as well to kind of add a little bit of damage to their team as they make the approach. Holy Mexican locked and loaded, trying to be the judge, jury, and executioner. Can do all 3 of those things and more if he wants to commit that ultimate early on in this fight. Ooh, and it's clobbering time once again. Knocks down, stuns a few characters. No eliminations quite yet, so they're forced to just back up for the time being. But nothing too risky, right? They're just gaining percentage. They're trying to equalize the scoreboard, and they've done a great job to do it. Gotta be careful on their approach. Watch out for that Wolverine. Gets a little dicey. And just when I say that, Deadpool still locked in.
Another thing will come out, killing 2 people immediately. Cloak and Dagger trying to take over the point, maybe a little too late in order to save anybody on their team, but...
Yeah, a huge Magneto ult to kind of circumvent all that damage that would have came out from Holy Mexican and immediately slashing him down. And again, they're just kind of contesting point right now, just put bodies on point, gate that percentage up as high as they can, just shy of 75%. They still have the lead, but again, 100 is the score winner, so they got to make sure they just hit it to that 100% mark to be able to secure that point, tie things up. But Trinity wants to take the lead early in the series. They can close it out right here and now. They've got ultimates lined up if they need. I wonder who Brooks is going to try to duplicate in this next fight.
I'm expecting them to either react and maybe duplicate this Magneto ult whenever this Luna Snow inevitably ults onto point.
Okay. Yeah, I can imagine Luna going to be the main target. Bird slicing and dicing. One target down. You see Emma Frost just trying to make some space, just trying to get some on the point.
Copied and used.
Yep.
This is real fire.
Oh man, Gene just going straight
but
to
nobody's dead. Oh man.
Man, so much damage on the point, and they're just going to kite it. I mean, this whole fight, they're just kiting and blocking back on the point. I mean, all the while, they still have point control, so they're not too worried about that at all. No elims quite yet, but they still got a couple ultimates at their wayside. They do have Dark Crazy if they want to try to use the things, maybe stun somebody up. Lombax stopping over to Dr. Strange, working on the Eye of Agamotto. Rocket Raccoon ult again, the real one this time. And guess what? All that damage is very much necessary. Able to secure those picks. They get the swap on it last second.
Absolutely destroyed by Magneto. Oh my god. Right as they thought they could take it back. That was sad on their part, honestly.
Said this is a no dance party, immediately shutting it down. A 2-0 victory to secure map number 1 in favor of Trinity. And again, Alvin had been sitting a while, so they didn't get that warm-up game that, Trinity was able to kind of use and kind of catapult themselves into a hot start. You can see the MVP, man, Brooks. Doesn't matter which character he's playing, he's duplicating, he's still making a show. But, I mean, we could look at the scoreboard as well. I mean, I think it's definitely going to show a very similar case. Yeah, I mean, 25-4 for Dark Crazy. I mean, just a thing of nightmare, right? Just being completely unkillable on this point.
Stopping all of the dives, making sure that stealing mobility from most of the characters, forcing them into a position that they didn't really want to play into. But that Loki, being able to deal a big amount of damage as any support adds on to all of the damage. And as you can tell by the differences in damage between the two different sides of the supports, the Loki was far surpassing, obviously, the Luna over here, who was probably getting dove on and shot on by, in the back by the... the Wolverine over here, consistently shredding their backline and catching them off guard.
Yeah, I mean, you can imagine how frustrating that it must be. Like, you're having to deal with a constant Wolverine in your face. You're trying to output some damage to the front line. just not finding any picks. I mean, if you look at the total amount of deaths on the side of Trinity, it's still, I mean, barely hit the double digits mark. So it's going to be frustrating for them, mentally to try to go into that and say, hey, what can we do to actually find picks? What can we do to open up the team fight? Because I mean, we're having to use 3, 4, 5 ultimates to actually win a fight. That's not realistic. You can't find wins.
And even though this game was obviously a 2-0, it just looked like it was a lot of very little mistakes on Alvin's side. Obviously, that Cloak and Dagger ult at the end of first point could have been saved for the second in order to keep them in the game a little longer. But if they can fix that in the next round, I think they do a lot better.
Yeah, because again, that last point really could have gone either which way. So, I mean, hopefully they can, rally back the troops. Because again, it's important for a lot of these series for you to stay mentally locked in. Because I mean, of course, those first to twos go by pretty fast, but same thing, first to threes can really kind of, you lose sense of what's going on in the match, and you kind of mentally start defeating yourselves. And you got to keep your team motivated, stay in the game, and stay locked in.
And it's very important to just understand that the next match you're going into is nothing like the first match. Obviously, you already know a bunch of the characters that the enemy team has previously played. You're going to want to target ban. You're going to want to get all of those problems out of your way as quickly as possible, while also being able to adapt to the new ones that you're about to face.
Yeah, you know what I tell people to call that? I call that goldfish memory. You need to just completely tune out what had happened before. It's actually big in bowling, believe it or not.
Bowling? That's not something I would have expected.
I used to love bowling back in the day, and that's how you kind of lock in, because you can have a really crappy first game, and you wipe the memory and come back to it and have a completely dominant second game start. All right, but we're getting the next map up. It looks like it's going to be Spider Islands on a convoy map, so we're going to see some potential payload progress.
Spider Convoy is one of my favorite maps, honestly. Here from the beginning of the game, I'm a Jeff main myself. I love going off the cliff at any given point in time. High value for any character who can shove anyone off a map, obviously. Spider-Man's really fun here. Penny Parker is amazing on defense and offense for canceling ults. But I'm excited to see what they start doing next with all of these new bans coming in, blocking progress from the enemy teams.
Right. Yeah, I believe, it's one of those things. Environmental's obviously a really key factor. This map, both aesthetically, is pleasing as well, and, with the different rebuildable structures and stuff with the spider. It's one of the cooler maps. I will say, I'm a big Spider-Man guy. We did see
Me too. I'm so biased.
Oh, dude. We got the new Brave New World, trailer that just dropped as well.
Brand new day.
Brand New Day.
Spider-Man Brand New Day, that's what it's called, yeah. I'm super excited for that movie to come out.
I'm not watching the trailer because I'm a big Spider-Man guy. I don't want to get spoiled on anything, so don't spoil it for me, please. I'm begging you. Don't tell me who shows up in the trailer. I already know.
It's all been spoiled. I know everything. I basically know the plot at this point.
Oh man, I'm still stoked to go see it, but I'm stoked for this next match as well. Bans are locked in as well, so I hope you guys are ready for map number 2. Alvin College trying to tie things up. Let's see if they can do it, or is Trinity going to take an early 2-0 lead? What do you think they're going to do? Do you think they're going to try to keep replicating what they were doing when they played against BC? Do you think they're going to run that triple Vanguard, triple strategist, or do you think they're going to try to go a different route?
Trinity was very adamant on running their 3-3 and running their triple support no matter what. I'm expecting triple support. The triple tank, it's very situational to have no damage in your game. But we finally go into the match here. You can see Gambit banned again, like always. Alvin now missing Magneto, Wolverine, and Phoenix. All of that really strong damage is now gone. And Trinity loses their Phoenix as well as their Loki, which was a huge part in their game, as well as Invisible Woman, which has a very big ult for controlling point or pushing. But we see here Penny Parker setting up, getting ready for defense. As I just said earlier, really famous character to play on this map.
Yeah, here we go. Map number 2 coming at you. I think, Invisible Woman is one of those standout characters. I think you have to run her on an objective type game mode, right? Her ultimate is too crucial not to. It, helps out a ton with the healing, make things a little bit harder for the opponents to have to make the engagement. They have to, play a little bit more aggressive. But you see, Penny Parker being one of the characters to start off with, kind of, looking for a hometown buff, but it looks like it's not going to be working out in their favor. Reflex getting dangerously low, not able to escape for the time being. And if I'm in one of those payload maps, I want to attack first.
You can see Trinity is obviously struggling here, straight out of the point, pulled out, killed, caught off guard. Penny Parker over here on her own, trying to escape, obviously.
Barely able to get out, but again, payload is already starting up and moving. I mean, a lot of interesting swaps. I'm seeing, the Punisher come out from Alvin as well. Lombax again starting off on the Doctor Strange. And no Magneto at their disposal, but still looking very, very clean.
Yeah, we see Portal coming out of Trinity really early on as they switch. Ionic! They still have Thing. Never mind. I was wrong. I thought they switched off of Thing. I honestly, myself, I wouldn't play Thing on defense. I don't think he's crazy good as a defensive character. I know he has damage reduction and he can peel back for teammates, but as you can see, he's just not doing as good as he was earlier on the point control.
Yeah, he recognized that and immediately swapped off, so not going to see any more of the Thing from Bird. Bird's one of those players that's been swapping to all sorts of different duelists, so maybe trying to find something that's going to work for him and maybe relinquishing the Dark Crazy back onto the Thing, the one who was playing the strongest earlier, and Holy Mexican working on their Punisher ult as well. Not going to even need it for this first point. First point has been secured. 4.5 minutes on the time bank, and all six ultimates at their disposal.
Alvin College ready to go whenever possible, as well as Trinity closing in on most of theirs, except for Bird here falling a little behind after their switch.
So which ones do you want to use here? Because obviously it's one of those things you have to start using some ultimates because we're wasting them essentially. It's not building up to the next round for them. I mean, we got a long ways ahead of you, so want to be aggressive with your ultimate usage here.
I'm expecting Cloak and Dagger to come out. There it is. Takes up a lot of space both for defense and offense. You see both Cloak and Daggers use their ult, trying to take space, obviously dealing damage to him at the same time. Oh, it's going everywhere.
Yeah, I hope you like
too many characters in here. House of Bloodstone taking people off the map with her ult. Another very popular character right now. I'm surprised she didn't get banned, honestly.
Yeah, especially on this map too, right? There's so many opportunities for environmental kills. I was actually surprised as well not to see that character be banned, but still finding a lot of success. And now it's back to the drawing boards if you're Trinity, because I mean this payload is just cruising along. You haven't had any opportunity. You've got a couple ultimates still lined up, but again, you have to worry about you make that approach, and Lombax can immediately shut things down with the eyes of Agamotto.
Oh, Dr. Strange comes out getting 2 people. Can they kill him? There goes one. Another ult. Oh, jeez.
Okay, Invisible Woman putting an ult on site, just trying to keep their team nice and healthy. Very close to capping the second point. I mean, just a few meters away, and all the while, Holy Mexican is sitting back and just pelting people to death. Not going to give them any opportunity to play, and just forcing them to scurry back to the hills and scurry back to point number 3. Another 4-minute time bank for Alvin College to work off of, and they are looking real solid with their gameplay right now. Smooth attack.
Yeah, that's that Punisher and Elsa Bloodstone being really nice damage dealers from a large distance, as well as Elsa Bloodstone being able to combo people at close range, taking out these tanks really quickly, keeping them off of them, and using the ult to push everyone away from point and taking space as quickly as possible.
That's the swap I want to see. Like, if you're going to deal with a triple Vanguard, triple strategist, play the range. Just sit back and just pelt them to death, build up your ultimates really fast, and you can just build off of that. Uh-oh, Lombax getting caught out of position, going to get stunned up by the Thing and immediately shut down. Bird also making a swap, and he's going to say, release the Kraken. And that's going to be a quick team wipe for Alvin College. Trinity finally finding a stop on this payload. It was moving along for a long time before they hit that stop, but look at where it's at, and it's in a really good position. If they win this next team fight, it might be a 1-fight win territory for this attack.
Yeah, with 3 minutes left, both teams really close to getting ults. Alvin already having Judge, Jury, and Executioner coming out. Are they going to be able to kill a few people with this? Really strong Punisher ult, high damage dealer. There goes Magneto.
Oh my goodness, man, the
Elsa
amount of
Bloodstone
damage.
gone as well. There goes the thing. Somebody caught in the back. Who is that? They're gone. Oh, jeez.
A huge triple kill from Mexican to be able to open up the team fight. Again, all off of one ultimate. One Punisher ultimate is a very cheap ultimate, still able to, you know, circumvent a lot of that defensive push from Trinity, and they're going to try to pop ultimates, just try to keep their hopes alive. And now it's just a desperation scramble for the point. They get a ton of ults on the point, and now trying to control the mines, control the objective. Eyes Vagamoto as well. But all eyes on me. Reflex gets a pinch. And can they actually hold it down? No, they're not going to happen.
Canceled by Mexican again. A really high damage dealer. That dealer. That shotgun is just crazy at close range, especially against tanks.
Oh man, it does so much damage, and I think I'm loving the changes I'm seeing from Alvin College, because what a turnaround. I mean, that first map was definitely in favor of, you know, Trinity. They looked really clean, they looked really solid, they knew what they wanted to come in and what they're prepared for. But Alvin College making that adjustment, you know, they can really tie things up here in this map alone.
Yeah, I'm actually excited to see what happens now that Trinity is in the offensive position. Are they going to be able to take that space and push the payload forward, or is Alvin College going to have just a higher defense or higher DPS even? Because, I mean, defense does not have to always be about kills. Some people, every time you get a little caught off guard, maybe you're a little desperate to push the payload, you get caught out of position, as we kept seeing Trinity do. They kept wanting kills, they kept wanting progress, but you really don't have to push. You don't have to get those kills, you just have to keep the payload from moving. And anytime they got a little impatient, Alvin saw that and they punished on it.
Yeah, see, that's kind of like the ultimate thing. I try to keep telling people, like, objective is the main name of the game, is the payload of convoy maps in particular. So if you're, as long as you're, you know, contesting the payload and not letting it move anywhere, it doesn't matter if you win or lose team fights. It doesn't matter if you win or lose on these picks. It's all a matter of stopping that robot. So let's see if we can do that here on their defensive hold. And an interesting team comp again from Alvin College.
Yeah, we see the Wolverine come out again from Trinity. Hopefully he'll be able to get in, maybe kidnap a few tanks, drag him into the backline, or melt him out really quickly.
Again, Holy Mexican on the Punisher once again. A lot of damage to output. And again, you have to worry about it. You could just sit from any angle, sit back, and just kind of force the tanks back onto the, you know, into the support line. But with Magneto on the field, maybe make things a little bit harder, especially with the amount of charge and get off those bubbles. Hey, they're still looking really, really solid here, just giving him a lot of space to work with. Alvin College is kind of backing up, backpedaling this entire time.
Yeah, everyone had a little bit of a standstill. Obviously, Alvin doesn't want to lose anybody at the moment. You're trying to hold this first point as long as possible to cut down that time, and they're just slowly backing up while keeping themselves alive. So that hopefully this Trinity, they'll get caught off guard again, get a little desperate. Rocket Raccoon and Invis come out immediately, just back-to-back, taking space, trying to keep everyone alive. Dangle coming in, getting half the team.
Well, it's one of those things, like, I appreciate the aggressive Invisible Woman ultimate, but it's one of those things, like, when you put it that far into the team fight where they've already taken all that space, they've already made that room for them, all they're doing is just fighting in a bubble, right? Fighting in that phone booth, so it's not really going to be able to get any type of movement from there, so definitely want to refund on that ultimate. And with the amount, the speed that the payload is moving at there, the only way they're going to be able to contest is with this teleport. Lomback swapping over to Mr. Fantastic just to kind of survive as best as they can. Cloak and Dagger point on the point, and the Magneto on
Dagger immediately destroyed again by this Magneto.
No matter what.
Alvin has no supports left. It's all just a matter of time before they have to retreat again. With Trinity actually putting up quite a bit of a fight here.
Yeah, Mexican swapping over to the second swap, you know, to Doctor Strange. Not going to be able to build up to an ult in time. Just holding shield on the point as long as they can. They're just trying to, like you said earlier, they're just trying to contest the convoy and, you know, milk out some of that clock. Oh my gosh, what? That was some crazy aerobatics.
Throw by Wolverine trying to kidnap somebody. Unsuccessful though.
It still looked cool though. That's you get the bonus points for it. I think the Olympics are still going on, so you might get a 10 for that one.
Rocket gameplay in the back, killing people from as far as possible, while also pushing payload, obviously.
Got flipped up, was trying to toss the Wolverine back into the fight. Unfortunately, you know, overstaying their welcome, but it doesn't matter. Rocket Raccoon makes those mistakes not too costly for their team. Right back into a 6v6 situation. But just when I say that, getting really low again. But now we can see Dark Crazy has access to the Thing's ult. I can imagine they're going to try to use it early on here, or they're just going to kind of play their role and kind of wait for a DPS to find an opening.
Punisher Turret's just putting all of this damage straight onto payload. If nobody focuses him, he's just going to get some crazy value.
He's already got his ultimate.
He already has his ult. Turret being able to do massive damage, not just bullets, but explosive bullets and burst damage. Using his ult, is he going to take out, there goes, Rocket ult's gone as soon as it appears. Oh, Wolverine taking out the Doctor Strange off the map.
Okay, big turnaround for the team. Again, they did kind of trade out ultimates, so not too shabby, but it's one of those things, they're really leaning on Lombax to kind of keep this point from moving. They do have Eyes of Agamotto as well. They really want to try to commit this ult, but again, with Dark Crazy having a couple, you know, the Things ult, as well as Brooks to kind of keep their team nice and healthy, all they have to do is sit back and wait for that ultimate to come out. Don't do anything risky.
Wolverine dead as soon as he arrives. That's really sad. Here comes the Cloak and Dagger ult taking space. I want to fall off the map there.
Really close to the edge. That was
Very
dangerous.
close to falling off the map. That would have been very unfortunate.
It's all right. We're putting on a show. We're going to just dance our way through the damage, ignore it all, and there's a dance party going on. And again, Dark Crazy playing the aggressive angle straight to the back line along with Bird. And you know Bird is the word. He's going to go straight to the hearts and just slice and dice, full charge, and getting tossed around. Eyes of Agamotto on the point, snapping 3 people, only half the team. And guess what? You're not going to get any single one of them.
Oh, wow.
Oh, are you? Dazed Mushroom coming in last second, just cleaving down the rest of those targets and forcing the rest of them off the map. And what a turnaround. I thought they weren't going to be able to capitalize on that ult, but still, again, the last second, you know, dive in was plenty, is all they needed.
I mean, normally that's what you want to see. Both tanks immediately turning around at hearing the ult, immediately bubbling one of the supports while trying to hit away the Doctor Strange, who's obviously attacking the Rocket Raccoon, but inevitably killing them either way.
Okay, we got Invisible Woman ult as well. Probably going to do it early on here as well, maybe at the same time as Rocket Raccoon. I know Lactate's been trying to use it at the same time, but here we go. Release the Kraken thing all at the same time. Judge and jury executioner, press Q galore. Can they find any picks? You got to be careful. The thing going to get dangerously low in that. He's just ignoring them altogether. He finally turns around and immediately melted like a knife through hot butter, son. Just completely melted down. That's going to be a crazy turnaround for their fight. They do get rid of Mexican, but as well as payload has been screeched to a stop here. 35 seconds left.
Yeah, this looks like Alvin's going to actually be doing a lot better here on the defensive side, holding Trinity here at this point. 3 ults coming out of both sides, equaling to nothing happening on the battlefield here. We have Magneto ult here, probably holding it, waiting for Cloak and Dagger ult to come out eventually, because that's obviously something you want to cancel, but they're not going to be able to push on the point.
Oh no, they're not going to be able to survive. Overtime now, Dark Crazy swapping over to Captain America, but the Namor coming out for Birda. Again, one of those DPS players has been super flexible. Every duelist in the book, I'll find a way to make it work. I'm going to start setting up turrets, make some space for their team, dancing it up, and you can see them healing back. They're willing to relinquish the point for the time being. As long as they can win it up, they have some ultimates. Eyes of Agamotto again wants to pair it up, and Namor just way too deep into that fight, getting picked off. And now it's a matter of a 4v6 situation.
There goes Magneto. Is he going to get any by this time? No. Oh, man.
Oh, dice.
Trying to contest his point, trying to kill everybody at the same time. You can't step off.
Yeah, it's an overtime situation, so now it's imperative that you stay on this payload, and it doesn't matter how long you stay on, you will eventually fall. Alvin College able to tie up the series 1-1. Oof. We're already here late. Might as well go as the distance, right?
That's, yeah. I'm here until 10. I had the opportunity to join you in casting. Why not?
See Karu Just yeah, been the talk of the town, rocking the Emma Frost, and just really making things difficult for Trinity to get into engagements every single time, walking into nothing but the storm.
Mhm. And that's what we were talking about earlier. Just the clean slate, new map, all of these different character bans. Obviously, a bunch of the supports being banned on the on Trinity team, affecting them very clearly. The Mantis not being there anymore, not being able to use Wolverine to their full advantage, as well as Phoenix. They also couldn't run Magneto against the Cloak and Dagger ults from the Alvin team, leaving them in a very weird position and unable to push as far as the other team did.
Of course, of course. And when you have a full cap and you have that much time on the bank too, it's got to linger in the back of your mind. You start thinking about it, and you're just like, man, what are we going to do here? We starting game planning ahead of time, thinking about how can we get it to overtime. Not going to work, but I mean, look at the amount of healing that Alvin College had. I mean, 40,000 healing just on the side of Koi. So I mean, the fact that you do as much healing for multiple players all into one is a testament in itself on how much resources they're willing to pour into these tanks.
And not even that, the you can tell the huge difference in between the supports being able to deal damage while healing at the same time. Being able to deal almost 40,000 healing while also getting 22 kills for your team is a really big difference in gameplay, as you can see, because obviously the Luna Snow on Trinity team and the Rocket Raccoon weren't able to deal as much damage. They weren't able to pick off anybody. Still doing something, but the difference being that wide is really going to make a difference in who wins.
Yeah, it's a super make it or break it situation again, because obviously two is bigger than one, right? So if you're able to kind of heal simultaneously while doing your damage, going to make things a little bit easier for them. So I would like to see Trinity make that change at some point in time during the series, maybe matching the type of strategists that Alvin College is willing to opt to. But again, all things are tied up, so maybe it was one of those things as a hiccup. This map in particular, it's kind of stingent on where you're positioned and what team comps you run. So maybe you pick a map that can be a little bit more focused on DPSing and just survivability. We're gonna have to find out.
Mhm. Yeah, because what's it? Alvin College over here with the Invisible Woman and Cloak and Dagger. Those are two characters who they can do both at the same time. Meanwhile, Rocket, you're either healing or you're shooting. Invisible Woman, you can shoot through both teams, doing both at the same time. Cloak and Dagger, if you miss one bullet towards one person, it's going to hit an enemy. It's not that big of a deal, and that I think is what did the most amount for their side of the team.
Right, right, and it's one of those things too. Like, I mean, are you going to try to ban that in this ban phase as well? Like, do you see any of the teams trying to target someone like the Invisible Woman or the Cloak and Dagger?
Oh, I'm expecting if they can pick up on it was the supports, they're gonna start target banning supports. Obviously, Alvin's gonna try to probably ban exactly what they banned the last game. But with both teams being able to protect those characters at the same time, that's going to change things again because you don't know if they want to protect who they used the first match or if they're going to get banned early on. It's really just all up in the air until the match starts.
Oh man, strategy, the layers you go into, like the bans process, it really starts to get convoluted and starts to muddy the waters a bit, right? Because you start to second guess yourself and say, okay, which bans are we going to try to go for? Which characters are we going to try to prioritize and saving? I mean, obviously, Trinity has, the advantage of being an app, but at the same time, they want to make sure that they're doing effective bans so it's not going to waste.
Because you want to ban the enemy team's main characters, but if you throw them into a character that they're possibly better at on this point, you don't even know who they're going to play. They might have a completely different comp for this point. So it's either you go for target bans or you go for bans that are going to help what you are going to run specifically instead of directly the enemy team.
For me, like, yeah, I do that similarly in the same sense, but it just really depends on the map itself. And I think we're just getting the map selections right now. And I believe it's going to be Hall of T'Challa. We're going to be a convergence map. So basically a hybrid map
Yeah,
for
this
Convoy.
is hybrid. Capture and push. A little excited to see what happens this time. A bunch of different bans from both sides of the game.
I think, again, it's going to be one of those things neither team wants to see a Gambit in sight. I mean, I feel like that's gonna be the go-to ban for every single game.
Gambit is such a valuable character on either side of the team. He deals crazy damage. He deals crazy healing. He can cleanse most ults. He can just stop them from Groodle to poisons, damage debuffs. He really is a ace type of player. It's not that often that you see a Gambit play and not get play of the game, not get ace, because he's just such a good and unique character.
Yeah, I noticed when I play Gambit, I win a lot of games, and when I don't play Gambit, I lose a lot of games. So it's definitely one of those things I see, you know, him being banned primarily throughout the entire series, because again, I think they both see the value in it, just like how you said. So gonna have to rely on some other strategies, some other characters for the time going forward for the series. We're all tied up here. Attacking is gonna be Alvin College to start. They're gonna opt for the teleport to go in, but where are they gonna set it up at? That's the ultimate question.
Behind them, this poor little squirrel. Are they going to catch him off guard?
Uh-oh. Yeah, you see him crawling back to his human mommy. They're chasing him. They're chasing him. They say who? It's going to be the bugs.
Yeah, you see Trinity already went and banned that Elsa Bloodstone, a really valuable character on the enemy team, but we still don't know if that's going to be the main, the defining factor of this future game.
Okay, Mexican again, making a change, going over to the Star-Lord, you know, again, a very flexible player. I mean, going to like 4 different duelists in this series and still finding picks on every single one of them. Able to, you know, swap over to the Star-Lord and, you know, light up the kill feed is hard enough. But then to do it on multiple different characters, whether that be the Punisher, he was playing Doctor Strange for a little bit too and still finding success. So very, you know, very aggressive player, finding a lot of success. And guess what? They get the first point with 5 minutes on the clock.
Stop that vehicle in its tracks.
Yeah, there's not that often that I see a rogue player. She seems a lot like a dive tank. Really valuable in getting people's faces and causing a lot of destruction. Alvin College running over here, a Magic and a Star-Lord, two very strong dive characters, especially when done correctly together, can take out anyone really easily.
Yeah, and again, I saw Rogue, you know, being played by a little bit Alvin College earlier today, so definitely not one of those unorthodox picks, but at the same time, they don't want to save it until, you know, grand finals, now where it matters the most, now when they need it. And now they're definitely going to need it here. They're finding a lot of space, opening things up a bit, but just when I say that, Rocket Raccoon ult coming out from the side of Alvin College this time around. What a pair of ults.
Not really being able to defend with many defensive ults. They come out here offensively with their Bucky ult over here, but everything's getting countered by Alvin College with the Invis ult and the offensive ult from the Star-Lord over here trying to get picks, but ultimately at a standstill with the Cloak and Dagger from Trinity taking over all of point, making the team have to push, fall back off the point.
Okay, huge double kill from Dark Crazy, forcing them back. You know, again, this one thing I don't see a whole lot happening with the Star-Lord ult itself anyways, just because of how much health is on the side of Trinity. So gonna be a tough ask, but you can see them trying to flank, trying to, you know, gauge up the next fight. They do got a couple of ults from Alvin College, but are they gonna capitalize on it with, you know, like a rogue duplicate first? We're gonna find out.
Yeah, I consider Star-Lord to be a very ult building type of character. He's going to want to just get in, deal damage, and get out, almost like a Tracer from Overwatch, trying to build that ult and use it to either get picks really quickly or drag out other ults from the enemy team, which obviously he did. But we see Rogue here almost dying. There she goes by the Magneto, unable to push as much as they were used to.
All right, back to the spawn doors, but guess what? 2 minutes is a good time bank to dwell off, and able to survive without losing anybody as well is pretty important. And again, Reflex, you know, one of those players I was talking about, he's very, very accurate player. So to see him on the Magneto, you know, was kind of surprising, but, you know, now seeing him gonna open things up with picks after picks, and of course his accuracy with the ultimates as well, it does make sense now.
Yeah, and we see that unlike last match, Trinity is going right back to triple support, but this time with a DPS instead of a third tank. Being able to keep everybody alive a lot longer. They don't have to push. They're playing very defensively behind the cart here, only pushing when they really need to. Catches catching this Magneto out of spot. Are they going to catch him off guard? No. Portal behind.
They do get one pick, and now maybe we're looking for a second one, potentially Kai popping the Rocket Raccoon ult as well. They popped the ult.
Killed out of her ult by the thing.
Yeah, Magical being exposed in the backline. Dark Racing not even needing to use the thing ult quite yet. And again, they're still keeping this payload completely stopped.
Trinity seems like they're going to be stuck here for quite a bit until Alvin actually makes the change, which it looks like they're finally going to. They've switched off of their original DPS line, and now they're also running triple support with the ults on their team, hopefully to get a little more damage and healing out there with these drones that can get a surprising amount of healing out there, a little bit of burst as well as damage boost.
Skin working ultimate. Team Gray, what can you do? Help me out here, Phoenix. Let's find a big explosion on point potentially, but again, Reflex holding on to the Magneto as long as they can, just trying to save it for a desperation, ultimate, just to kind of keep things back. But down to a final minute here, it all comes down to one ultimate decision, one ultimate choice. Reflex, are you going to be able to survive this onslaught? The bubble being popped immediately. Healed back up.
Rock followed by Cloak and Dagger, followed by Magneto. Can they cancel it out? There it goes. Alvin finally being able to make a small difference and dip into the game. Jeff using his ult as a healing on the ground, but falling back instead of trying to eat anybody, using that little bit of ult on the floor to help his team out a little bit.
Ooh, and Reflex sniped somebody out with that ultimate. No more Rocket Raccoon now. Eyes of Agamotto again wants to make sure they close out the point, and they're going to commit a ton of ultimates here. They use the Doctor Strange ult, Invisible Woman on site as well.
Getting a bunch of people all at once. Bucky going in, trying to get somebody. Again, there he goes. Is he going to get another?
Ultron ult lined up as well, but unfortunately it's too little too late. Your team is already fallen and they're back to the spawn doors once again, but with 15 seconds left on the clock, they don't have a whole lot of time to regroup, recontest. They're gonna have to make the commitment now. Foy onto the Deadpool as well, building it up to it as quickly as they can, but is it desperation? Is it too futile? If Doctor Strange falls, it may be over for them. The one single domino to fall may be enough for them.
Trying to build this Deadpool ult as quickly as possible. Deadpool support, actually. There it goes. The only ult in play, only ult possible for the moment, unless Thing can pull his off fast enough. There goes Jeff ult into the middle. Is it going to get anybody?
Hey, Mexican swapping over to Wolverine. Yeah, they get rid of the Deadpool, so a little bit lacking of healing here. Maybe he's going to just take him out of the fight entirely. Yeah, spinning him back, but he's trying to desperately find his way back to the team. Might lose that 1v1 in that situation. Yeah, gonna fall. All the while, Reflex is fighting on point and blowing everybody up. No healing in sight for their team and no chance of capping this second point. A win condition for Trinity.
Really back and forth matches here with Trinity going straight back onto a very highly defensive comp here, taking over everything and keeping Alvin off.
Yeah, seriously, good turnaround for Trinity. They can be able to take the lead in the series here. It's not a walk, it's not a a casual, graceful walk in the park here. They still need to actually lock in. They still need to cap the first point, and they have to essentially push it all the way to the end.
Yeah, you never want to get over your head whenever you're in the lead. You can sometimes get cocky. You might want to be a little silly when you're on your team, like, oh, let's run this now. We're doing fine. We can run this. Let's get a little aggressive. But ultimately, with Alvin now being on the defensive side, we've already seen them do really well on defense and win last point due to it. They might be better on the defensive side here now, being able to adapt to what Trinity is going to play against a little faster.
Right. Yeah, I think speed is definitely the name of the game. Because, I mean, it doesn't matter how, how long you cap this first point. As long as you cap it, you'll get some extra time added into the time bank. But I think for Alvin College, they definitely want to slow things down significantly. I think they want to make sure these fights drag on a little bit because, I mean, even if they, cap this first point, they're still going to have to work off that time bank. Alvin College had that 5-minute time bank, and it meant nothing to Trinity. So let's see who is going to be able to, take this third map and who's going to take the convincing lead in the series.
Yeah, we see Trinity come straight out of spawn again with triple support for the offense. Jeff being able to play in these long hallways, healing everybody and damaging at the same time is very valuable for their team as he can build ult charge incredibly quickly. But we saw Alvin over here with Rocket Raccoon again, who's hopefully going to be able to sustain his team a little faster with that extra life for whoever gets kicked out the fastest.
Oh gosh, and Loki on site, Boyd just trying to keep their team nice and alive, clones galore all over site, but again, look how much space that Trinity and Dark Crazy is making. I mean, we're already at 70% to the Thing's ultimate, so I mean, if they really wanted to, they could just pop it right away, and they've got plenty of, space to do it. And they're going to want to give that early pick, but just when I say that, they get one to equalize it, but now, again, Dark Crazy still hungry for more, and he still wants to tell you what time it is.
Yeah, Alvin losing 2 people so quickly, but using hopefully a really good support ult here. And Viz, hopefully they can contest long enough for their other teammates to come back and steal it. But Jeff getting nobody actually, jumping off the map. He probably grabbed somebody who had a little bit of survivability to jump back up onto point, but it still looks ultimately inevitable by Alvin College not being able to hold as well as they thought.
Doesn't matter, you lose to Jeff, doesn't matter, we still be able to close out that first point. And once again, another 5-minute time bank on the side, this time around for Trinity. And wow, chasing down the
getting
kill.
a really far pick, huge stagger on the Magneto there.
So greedy, man. I mean, all the way to the spawn, essentially to the spawn door and just chopping him down. So making sure that he does not get away. Lombak's making the change as well, swapping over to the group, wants to, try to isolate some targets, but Dark Crazy doesn't care. He's still playing front lane, he's still playing aggressive, and he's got to use that momentum to his advantage.
And obviously playing really far forward past the payload, trying to take as much space as possible so the payload could move without any problems. Looks like he's getting cleared for an ultimate. There it is! 4 people caught in it instantly, but Invis coming out to protect everybody. Gru ult trying to grab people and put them together. Magneto by Trinity. Can they get somebody? Nope, wasted on Namor.
Namor not finding it. Rocket Raccoon ult as well. Mythic willing to pop his own ultimate, and they do stabilize for the time being, but look at how much ults they had to expend to just stop this one push. This has all been one attack on the side of Trinity, and they've been really successful. Look how close that payload is to be able to close out the set.
Yeah, they basically have 4 minutes left here. That Cloak and Dagger ult being canceled by Magneto, really strong, but it's gonna be a lot of extra time here to build ults. They could really just build all of them in ult at the end. They just need to push a little bit further here with so much time left.
I mean, I don't know. I see a lot of times where like these dry fights from like Dark Crazy kind of initiating these aggressive angles, getting somebody super low, forcing the team back. May not even need ultimates. May not even need that ult dump that you were alluding to.
We see Thing flanking from the back. Is he gonna get punished for it? Or nope, he's straight back to his stand.
Okay. An aggressive angle, and again, you make the changes, and it's not going to be meaning a whole lot. Brooks popping the jet balls as well, just trying to find somebody to keep. Thinks it's dinner time. Namor ult popping out as well, but I don't think they're going to find any type of success. Yeah, they eat up one person, spin them back into the team, and now it's just a matter of cleaning up the point. But Holy Mexican making that change as well. Maybe trying to survive, maybe trying to find some picks themselves. I am Groot on site. In Mexican, able to kind of, get a pick. Lactate now out of the fight for the remainder of this push here. But again, 2 minutes still to work with.
Yeah, we see just a few of Trinity just barely trying to hold on to point for as long as possible, not really being able to push the cart as much as they want to.
Okay. A lot of last minute slots. Dark Crazy running back to this team, and Reflex, is he going to be able to survive? I would hope they chase him down here. Yeah, just not able to get away. Narrowly missing the health back. That would have been huge to kind of keep him alive, but again, another stagger. More time off the clock. That's what they need right here, because again, they can win, but they have to, burn that clock down to 0 and win another team fight.
We see Trinity coming back with almost 4 ults in total, being able to slowly build that. Hopefully they'll be able to use them to their advantage without much reaction from the enemy team here.
Now, can we build up enough for the Warlock to find value? You see Koi swapping over to the Warlock, maybe trying to find like a last-minute res. Is one of those things that you can kind of keep your team team's hope alive. Lock Bunny popping out, Clobber in time, finally coming in action, but everybody's still alive. Everybody still has a ton of HP to work with. Rocky Raccoon ult coming out as well. Mythic maybe has Eyes of Agamotto tell you what you can and what you cannot see. I've got the third eye in the palm of my hands, and that's going to be another fight win for them. Pretty costly, but again, down to the final minute here of map number 3.
Definitely much closer than Trinity originally wanted to be. Huge Doctor Strange ult by Mythicaru over here, destroying most of the team all by himself. Obviously getting a lot of help here, but that was crazy and huge.
Okay, you gotta make sure nobody falls from Alvin College here. Yeah, you do not want to give them any type of, breathing room. Don't give them any, leg to stand on. If they can just win this next fight here, it might come down to, a desperation touch. They have to scramble to get to points, but again, Brooks does have Jeff's ult, so they can have at least one body on point safe.
Yeah, it looks like this is going to be the final fight here, no matter what they do. It doesn't matter if you have Portal or anything left. This is about to go into overtime with 17 seconds left. There goes Cloak and Dagger ult. Is going to be countered by anything? No, they don't even have a Magneto to do so. We see there's Phoenix ult, Jeff's ult, everything's coming all at once.
Both reses, can't lose anybody else, no way to res them up now. Jeff ult popped up, not gonna be able to eat anybody quite yet. And now that res, I'm telling you, came in clutch. Boys saving their team's life the last possible moment. Agamotto getting stunned up. Reflex can only sit there and watch as the rest of his team falls all around him. And Alvin College able to circumvent that, that hold on the second point and able to take map number 3, taking the lead in the series. It looks bleak for them, but guess what? They had an even stronger hold, a stronger defense, just shy of 100 meters on their convoy push.
That was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. I really thought Trinity was going to take it there, but it seemed like they got a little too greedy. They got a little too patient there with the push. They would either just react to the enemy team instead of initiating the fight there at the end, when they could have just started the fight first, leading the enemy to react. Using a support ult on top of another one, not the best thing you want to do there, basically canceling out your value entirely.
Yeah, again, I think complacency was definitely the key phrase we've already talked about. Like, they saw they had 2 minutes, they're like, it's okay, we can go another fight, we can use an ult here, use an ult there, and next thing you know, you completely lost track of time, and then, Alvin was able to kind of circumvent all of that damage they're outputting. I mean, look at this scoreboard. I mean, it's just a lot of big numbers on the scene, including coming up from Lombax, almost 60,000 damage being blocked.
Oof.
I mean, that enough is to combine for like 2 different tanks all in one, 2 different vanguards all together. So the fact that Lombax was able to block that much damage was, showing how difficult it was for Trinity to be able to get anything moving, especially on that last little defensive hold.
Yeah, he was consistently putting the Groot walls in between the team and putting them behind them, dealing small amounts of damage. And even if they were to waste their time on those walls, the walls deal damage. The walls are going to keep you distracted. If the supports are dealing with it in the back, they're going to be a little too stuck on the walls, that the tanks in the front aren't getting the healing that they need, and it's leading to people slowly getting picked off and put into worse positions.
Yeah, you really have to, applaud them for that change, because that was one of those things. I don't think they were intended on running that Groot at all throughout the series.
No, we haven't seen the Groot at all so far. Very surprising. I didn't think it was going to work out as well as it did, but it's really what they needed right there.
Yeah, so hopefully they can keep, leaning on that a little bit more. But again, that's where the bans start to come into play. Maybe they see, okay, that was something we really struggled with, something we don't want to have to deal with going forward. They want to have people play a little aggressive. I mean, that's why I thought Dark Crazy was playing that aggressive off angle, trying to push the back line, trying to deal with some of these strategists. Again, the triple strategist, lineup on Alvin College has been really paying dividends for their team.
Mm-hmm. Both teams obviously going for the triple support here. Everyone loves triple support. It's really valuable. It's really strong, but still being different in their own way. Adam Warlock being able to res the entire team, along with a Rocket who can catch the strays off guard, as well as the really strong Invisible Woman ult keeping people up. Meanwhile, as you can see with Trinity, they tried to go for a more offensive support line with Mantis for the damage boost and the Cloak and Dagger for taking space and Jeff for trying to either cancel ults or take people out of the map entirely, but it just didn't work out the way they probably hoped.
Yeah, it all stacked up on each other. So it's one of those things I'm glad to see they made that adaptation. I was really concerned too, because again, we were just like the group, how we never saw that the whole series. Then we see the Adam Warlock kind of come out of nowhere. I was like, why are we picking that one? But it was one of those things, it was crucial for them turning around because they lost 2 people early on in that fight, all off of ultimates that they banked on that would work. But that's the thing, when you're kind of relying on ultimates to be the telltale decision on who wins those fights, it can be a hindrance to your team. Because if you're only waiting for those ults, sometimes ultimates, like Magneto's ultimate, you save it for a Cloak and Dagger ultimate, completely shut down by Magneto.
Yeah, because especially with the Cloak and Dagger ult here, they weren't able to cancel it, but they had everything they needed to sustain through it and to make sure that Trinity couldn't even push forward, even though Magneto was never used by the Alvin College, even though it could have been. But the Groot and obviously the Adam Warlock not being seen before, but being MVP for his team with crazy healing, accuracy, damage, all around, being able to sustain his team long enough in order for them to take it.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's one of those things. I think finding those characters that can multitask like that consistently all throughout the map is going to be imperative for their success, especially with those triple strategists. Because again, the damage you would think could be a factor, but when you come up with those supports that can actually output a lot of damage alongside the healing, makes things a little bit easier. And I hope I could see Trinity kind of match that at some point. They're kind of game planning right now, trying to figure out which maps they want to go with. Because again, it's the series on the line. Winner of this match will win the whole tournament. Again, it's all down to this one final map potentially for Alvin College, but knowing them, I think Trinity's going to wind up milking it, take us to a final map in the series.
Yeah, with things being pushed back and forth, you can't really tell which team could be possibly holding back or trying their hardest here. Obviously, again, we're about to go into a clean slate here with new bans. We don't know if they're going to want to ban this Adam Warlock, ban this Groot, or maybe go after the Namor here, who his squids were dealing all of the crazy damage for him. He, obviously, having the most damage on his team, but we're just going to have to wait and see what happens next.
All right, so trying to find out what the next map's going to be. We're going to take a short break, and when we get back, we're going to go straight into map number 4, so stay tuned, everybody. Alrighty, welcome back. We are here for map number 4, Trinity versus Alvin College. They're working on a 1-map deficit, but guess what? They've got the bans locked and loaded. And as you can see, no more Gambit and no more Adam Warlock for Alvin College.
We're over here on Burning T'Challa, a really popular map. I love this one. Domination type map, King of the Hill, you know what it is. But you can see here that Alvin already went and banned that Phoenix again. They really don't want to deal with it. Cloak and Dagger and Loki, Trinity's biggest hitters that we've seen so far. But meanwhile, Trinity over here batting Elsa Bloodstone, Adam, and Phoenix again. Phoenix and Gambit here being obviously the 2 main factors of both teams wanting to keep them out of the fight as much as possible. Both teams really know how to play those characters.
Yeah, a lot of experience with it. The scrims, the hours, it all boils down to this. They're 1 match away from being able to claim Legends Fest 2026, and they can do it. They're starting off well. Lombax playing a really aggressive angle, but it doesn't matter because they've got point control. And now with point about to be unlocked in the next few seconds, they have to make a move. They have to make a commitment. Bird swapping over to the Daredevil, trying to be a nuisance as well. Maybe trying to start diving some of that back line, but with Holy Mexican playing the Punisher again, making things a little bit harder.
A bit of a stall here by both teams. Not really anyone dying except for this Mantis over here who's rezzed immediately. Daredevil caught on his own by a tank, killed out and sent right back to spawn. But it looks like Alvin's going to claim point really early on here.
That was a speed run of a Moon Knight build-up. I mean, immediately got it, used it onto the back line, and winning that first point. Again, the percentage starting off on an early fear for Alvin College, and I think they really want to, hit the nail on the head and say, I'm going to play aggressive, we're going to take point control and just hold you at choke. Not going to risk playing on the objective.
Yeah, and with Trinity here playing a semi-brawl comp, playing so tightly together, it makes that Moon Knight value go skyrocket in terms of ult charge and damage, being able to sometimes kill supports out of the back just from shooting the tanks. Really large targets.
Okay, and again, Alvin playing that aggressive angle. Now they're starting to backpedal finally onto the point. Rocky Raccoon ult onto the point, amplifier ensue, but they're gonna just put a lot of focus on it, rather either try to just get rid of it. Invisible Woman ult as well, just a little bit on the site. They do pop the thing.
Both
getting 3
invisible.
stuns. Oh!
Big ult by Magneto here, killing both the Moon Knight and the Mantis really quickly. Alvin's gonna take it back again.
And see, that's heartbreaking if you're a Trinity fan, because I mean, you just use your Invisible Woman ult to try to save that thing ult being used as well to no avail. I mean, no success, immediately getting shut down. Dark Crazy finally giving up on the thing, going to the way of Doctor Strange.
Yeah, with Alvin already still with 3 ults, getting ready to go back into this fight, Doctor Strange being caught out of position, punished for it immediately by the enemy team here.
Yeah, was trying to probably pop that ultimate in an aggressive angle. I mean, you do have to get pretty close to actually find that ult to, make it successful, but not going to find it here. Mythic, forced to kind of play the point all by himself, the only Vanguard still alive. But just when I say that, the Lombacks might be able to make it back in time to kind of keep this point into their favor. Only Mexican popping ult. Punisher into the backline potentially. Cloak and dagger used as well. They really think this is winnable. They're willing to commit a ton of ultimates on this site. If they're not careful, they wind up losing. Moon Knight being used as well from Bird Hub. Eyes of Agamotto in the backline. They get the big picks, the big staggers.
Getting everybody. Oh, geez.
And that's heartbreaking for Trinity. They used their ultimate. They thought this was going to be winnable, but Alvin willing to commit a whole lot more. 3 big ultimates and another fight win. And now they get them one step closer to being the Legends Fest Tournament champions. They just need to do one final round. They can close it out right here on Warrior Falls.
All right, we're gonna have to see a few changes here by Trinity if they want to take this back, because obviously whatever they're doing is just not working anymore.
Now, what can they do? I mean, they've got to dig deep here. This is the last opportunity. You don't have any other chances here. You have to play perfect from here on out. And a drastic change in them. I mean, Lopunny going over maybe to the Venom. I mean, the first time we're seeing that character in the series as well. Dark Crazy coming to the Deadpool. Not sure which role's on at the moment, but
that's Tankful, as you can see by the crossed arms over his icon. But you see they finally hop off of triple support. Hopefully it's enough to change the game for them, and hopefully can bring it back.
Hey, it can happen. A lot of changes for their team. I mean, again, first time I'm seeing Venom all day today. So see if we can make it happen.
Portal come out by Alvin, bombarding the Trinity team immediately above their spawn point, forcing them into a really weird position.
Oh, yeah, definitely forcing him back. Green Knight ult in hand for Dazed Mushroom, so I would like to see, putting it straight to the back line. Sigils, one of those annoying things you have to deal with. Oh, and Deadpool getting caught out of position. They do get the res off right away with the Rocket Raccoon, but again, it's kind of a sight for sore eyes. Maybe they can kind of push him out of position. Lombax recognized he was a little too close to the edge and immediately dashing back to his team.
The
Moon Knight ult comes out. Is he gonna get anywhere though?
Hey, not gonna find anybody.
Nobody.
This is real.
Both support outs, both sides. Not much is gonna happen here. Ooh,
No.
Alvin taking out Wolverine and Namor from the fight really early on. And Rocket ult being thrown up into that corner like that really actually stopped them from receiving any of it, being pressed up against the wall.
Yeah, and despite, the Rocket Raccoon ult coming out first from Trinity, still winds up losing that fight. So, again, no success there. Recognizing Deadpool isn't working either. Swapping back over to the Doctor Strange. Willing to pair up a couple, get another team up ability, on the board. But, again, we're running out of time here. 40% and counting for Alvin College. They can close it out right here and now.
I am strengthened for battle.
Holy Mexican dropping over to Winter Soldier, has access to, an ultimate. Again, are they going to be able to, use it aggressively here? It's kind of hard in this little enclosed area. They have to kind of get them onto the objective.
Yeah, with Alvin closing in on the cloak and dagger ult, killed though, unable to use it. Tried to use Bucky ult, but killed instantly by their whole team just absolutely bombarding them.
Okay, that was a big ult right there. I wasn't expecting the Venom ult to get that much value, but definitely made things a little bit harder for Alvin College to kind of solidify. And Mexican recognizing, you know what, maybe Winter Soldier ain't it. Going over to the Wolverine, still wants to focus prioritization on the strategist. Again, the main target being that Rocket Raccoon, and you could see him being a target for the prey.
Yeah, I'm not a big Venom player. I've tried playing him a few times. I know his ult doesn't seem like it deals a lot of damage, but he does have a few things he can do that were he can just use two abilities, I believe, and just instantly kill someone with his ult. It's just really strong when comboed properly.
Ice Vagamo gets the one, gets the second pick, and he's again taken off the map. Holy Mexican doesn't need any fancy ultimates. We just pull people straight off by the, grabbing them by the hair and ripping them down.
Yeah, Trinity's going to be coming back here with 4 ults, possibly 5, but they switch off the rocket to the Luna Snow, hopefully to get something a little more sustainable.
And the thing is, the ultimate coming out too, they need something to contest in overtime.
Mm-hmm. But with Alvin having all of their own really defensive ults from both of their supports and 2 really aggressive ults by their Moon Knight and Magneto, they're going to be able to defend this really well depending on what they do.
Wow. Great scout right there from Lombax. Portal does come out, disappear on point. They pop the Namor ult as well. Not going to be able to find anything. Daze finds a pick themselves, and Nakai finds another pick.
Daredevil ult coming out is going to be able to get anybody with it.
This is the last fight opportunity. They have to find some sort of success. They get a pick, but Bird needs to try to find more on the kill feed. Has to find it, because otherwise this is tournament life on the line. Alvin College can close it out right now. Another pick from Daze Mushroom. Is that going to be it? And that's going to do it. Alvin College going to wind up winning Legends Fest 2026, being your tournament champions. Yeah, you can see them right now. They are super happy. They're stoked up. They jumped up, started immediately hugging each other. Great performance out here tonight. Great victory for them. And again, coming from that winner's side of the bracket and was looking very, very solid, still able to, walk away victorious. I love seeing their performance. I know we've seen them all day today, and you got to give a big shout outs to them.
Mm-hmm. Really rough start by the Alvin team, losing their very first fight, but immediately adjusting and being able to take the entire game back after just a little bit of readjusting. Trinity tried their hardest, but in the end, Alvin comes up on top.
Yeah, great adaptation right there from Trinity. You could see them really trying hard in the way they were playing. They're making crazy change. I mean, you saw the Venom swap at the end right there, but to no avail. You saw Alvin just had a game plan going into it, and they followed it to a T. So good stuff to Alvin College, winning the series, being our tournament champions, and just showing everybody how to get things done. I mean, I'm super happy to see the textbook close on the finish.
Yeah, it was really fun to watch, really fun to cast here with you, obviously. Not something I get the chance to do very often, but I was really happy with how this all turned out, even though my team didn't make it as far as I wanted to. But really great plays from all of the players on the team, very consistently back and forth gameplay. But yeah, that was really fun.
Yeah, a lot of fun. I mean, obviously the high schoolers and the college students all got to come out here and just have a blast. So, I mean, it was a great event ran overall. We got to run some Overwatch, some Mario Kart, Super Smash. And of course, we finished off the night with the Marvel Rivals. It was a great turnout. So I'm glad to see everybody perform and really try their hardest. So they'll get their trophies, they'll get their awards, and we'll turn it out for the night. But again, big shout outs. Thank you again for jumping on the mic with me. I know it was last minute,
No
but
problem.
I appreciate it. Had a lot of fun out here. Next weekend for me, I'll be down in Houston for Texas Showdown. So if you like fighting games, I'll be doing more of that. Got anything next weekend?
No, I got school. I got a full-time student. I'm going right back to school.
All right. Well, thanks to everybody. Again, I know some of these guys have school, some of these guys have lives, so we'll tune it out for the night. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Big congratulations to Alvin College for winning Legends Fest. We'll see you guys again next time.